Hello drummers, welcome to Tim Connolly Drums Live. Had a little technical difficulty, but I think I've sorted it out and we should be good. Just trying to find my video on here so that I can respond to questions. It doesn't seem to be popping up. Usually it just pops right up. Strange why it is not doing that today. Okay, I think I see something here. Live now. Let's see. I think we got something here. Yes, we do. Okay, so here we are. So now I can see the chat and answer any questions, hopefully, that anyone out there has. First of all, this is my first live stream since I got monetized, which is a week ago today. So I thought I would celebrate my week of being monetized by going live and just talking about it a little bit and doing a little drum chat. I'm just going to adjust one thing. I'm noticing getting a little bit too much light from one side here. Just going to adjust that light a tiny bit so it should be better. Give me 1 second. This is live. You just can't tell what's going to happen sometimes live, so. Okay. I think we're good now. I think it's a little bit better. All right, so 1 week monetized. I've also got my merch shelf set up, and I'm dealing with a company called Spreadshirt, and you can get hats and shirts and all kinds of really cool stuff. So please check out my new merch shelf, and I think I have 65 different designs. And like I said, you can get anything on there. There's like 152 different things that you can get. So today, we are going to talk about developing the fingers. You know, we can talk about other things too. Anyone who's watching and has any questions, of course, feel free to ask any questions at all. And let's talk about the fingers for today and how they're utilized in getting the sticks to move. A lot of people rely too much on what I call a muscling technique. And they try to muscle their way through their rolls and grooves and whatever. Everything we're doing today, by the way, even though we're doing it on the pad here, can be applied directly to your drum kit in terms of grooves and everything. Everything we're doing is related to grooves and all aspects of drum playing. It is certainly not limited to just being on this pad, okay? So the first thing we want to do is we want to get these fingers moving. So this is a Joe Morello exercise that I learned, and you want to put your fingers in a pinch like this, so it looks like you're kind of holding the sticks, but obviously you're not. And then you want to open and close your fingers like this. Now, we're actually going to do it to a rhythmic pulse, like a time, like 1, 2. I'm going really slow at first because the goal is to get much faster, but we want to go slow at first just to get the motion. So I'm doing about 8 of these per one. So 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, you should start to feel a sensation, eventually a burning sensation, but not an uncomfortable, well, it is a little bit uncomfortable, but not damaging or injuring kind of a burn. This is a muscle thing. We're trying to, we are developing muscles. Be like Arnold. We are trying to get huge. No, we're trying to get fast. How do you get fast? We try to use the fingers to get the speed going, okay? So, you want to feel that. If you're not feeling this here, and you've been doing this for a while, you're not doing it right. Now, full closer. Don't do halves. At this point, we want to develop full, open, and close. All the way up, all the way down. Right? So, when you get a little bit better at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you should really feel that. When you're doing those groups, shake it out afterwards. We want to get the blood flow going, okay? Then we're going to pick up a stick. Now, when we pick the stick up, how you're holding the stick, I mean, I've talked about this endlessly. Check out my video on how to hold a drumstick. I'm not really going to get into that too much today, but this is how we're holding the stick. And we're going to get the stick moving without fingers so that we know we're holding the stick correctly and we're getting the stick in the balance point. Too far up, too far back. Now some guys do play back quite far. Gavin Harrison being one, Vinny to a certain degree. I know Steve Gadd and Dave Weckl have really small sticks and they play back a little bit. But for the most part, you want to have a little bit of the stick hanging out here so you can see from the pinky. Now another thing, about the grip is make sure all your fingers are on the stick. Don't do this. This drives me insane. Drives any drum teacher that knows about technique insane. Do not dangle that finger. Make sure that finger is loose and relaxed and around the stick. This is like a balance point, so to speak, in the sense that it doesn't allow the stick to shift out like this. Now this is the fulcrum balance point right here. These two fingers are moving the stick. The third finger, the pinky, it's not really particularly moving the stick, but it's keeping the stick in place and not allowing it to shift out, because that's what sometimes happens. Now you'll notice that I'm allowing the stick to move by getting this finger out of the way. So that's why that finger is sticking out. When you see me with my finger sticking out, like, what the heck is that? Well, that's getting the finger out of the way so that when the stick is bouncing, as you can see, with the finger out of the way, it's got full movement. So get this going, then with the stick still moving, take over with the fingers. Get that stick moving, then take it back over, bouncing, take a break. Nice and relaxed, fingers. Okay, that's another great exercise. Getting the fingers to move, bouncing, and then taking over with the fingers and switching it back and forth. Okay? Nice and relaxed. You can see the stick is moving on its own. I'm doing the exact same thing now. Nothing's changed, except now my fingers have taken over. Nice and relaxed space there, as you can see. There's a space there. There's no tension. There's no tension here. There's no tension here. My fingers are relaxed. My arm is relaxed. Everything is good. So this is a tester to make sure you're holding the stick properly. Insert the stick here. Make sure you got that space. Take it out. Don't do this, which is tightening it right back up as soon as you take that stick out. And it's a rolling thing that happens. Guys tend to do that. As soon as you see that and that tension, that's a no-no. So when you're playing, make sure that everything is loose. And when you start to see that, unroll it. You want to be able to fit that stick in there to make sure you're loose. Both hands. Okay, now let's talk more about getting these fingers going. An exercise that's really good is again, Joe Morello. A lot of this is Joe Morello based because I learned a lot from Joe. Getting the sticks to move one hand at a time. Okay, so we're going to do 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, E and A, 4, E and A, 1, E and A, 2, E, 3, E and A, 4, E and A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice all my fingers on the stick. 2 on each side, 2, 3, 4, 1, Okay, so group of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. You want more fingers? 1, 2, 3, 4. Fingers. 2, 3, 4. Getting the stick to bounce. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So that's the next step. The next step is to go from the 16ths to these 32nd notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're doing one group of 16ths, 32nd note, one group of 16ths, 32nd note. You can do it times 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A whole bar. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're getting those fingers moving by separating the hands and then finally putting the hands together for singles. Okay, now let's talk about double strokes for a second. Let's grab a drink here. I'm doing a lot of work here. It's a lot of work. Listen, nothing comes easy. To develop your hands, your technique, your groove, your pulse, your feel, your musicality, all that stuff, you got to put the time in. Nothing comes easy. Nothing is going to be just, oh, it got handed to me. There's no pill. There's no protein drink. There's nothing in a blender that's going to help you. Time and effort and sitting on this pad, working all these things out, developing your technique, that's all that's going to work. Don't think anything else. So these doubles, I'm just doing them even right now. They're both pulsing roughly at the same rate. Now you'll notice that nothing's changed from the singles to the doubles in terms of looseness. Okay? I'm still keeping it nice and loose and relaxed. All my fingers on the stick, this finger out of the way. That is a no-no because you're preventing the stick from moving. You're choking the stick when you do that. You're not allowing it to do its thing. As soon as I move that out of the way, look at how the stick moves. I have so many students ask me about this. How do I get my finger off the stick? It is time. You've got to get used to sitting it on the second knuckle. I know orchestral players will play more up here. My drum teacher, Ernie Porthouse, I'm pretty sure that's where he plays, and a lot of guys that are playing a lot of fine drumming, that's where they play. And that's fine. But for what we do on the drum kit, and for what we do on the pad and exercises and stuff, I was taught this way, the second knuckle, by, well, Dom Famularo, Joe Morello. This is the way Vinny Colaiuta plays, Steve Smith, so many other guys. So this is the way that I personally find works best for me. You got to experiment a little bit. Whether you're here or you're here, the bottom line is allow the stick to move. So in the second knuckle, this finger's got to get out of the way, because as soon as you do that, you're blocking it, okay? Back to the doubles. Nice and relaxed, loose. Make sure they're even and relaxed. Breathe. and relax yourself. I'm accenting the second stroke of the double to make a cleaner, smoother sound. Okay, so same thing with the singles that we're doing with the doubles, right? Now, here's an exercise to help you develop that second stroke. Almost a shuffle kind of a thing, but I'm doing a Buddy Rich kind of a push-pull to get that, dropping it and then accenting. At a high rate of speed though, you can't do a lot of motion. So it's a pull, a drop and a pull. And both hands got to be even. Now you can do even more even strokes like this. But they got to be even. All right, so that's doubles. Now we're going to go to a paradiddle. Combining the two, I'm just going to accent the downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, nice and relaxed. 2, fingers are doing that, essentially, when it comes to the doubles. So I'm controlling the bounces. Whoa! Double paradiddle. Okay, so the double, I'm not accenting anything except the downbeat when I'm playing the paradiddle. In this case, I'm going to do a video on accenting the E, the and, the I do have a shifting video for singles you can check out on my YouTube channel. But I am going to do a video specifically shifting with a paradiddle as well. But for today, just for the purposes of getting through the finger technique part, we're just going to accent on the downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Singles, doubles, paradiddle. Nothing changes. All right, so another thing is that bounce. Coming back to the free stroke. Check out my videos on the free stroke to get the sticks to bounce. You'll notice that the grip, the way I'm holding the stick. Jim Chapin used to say, hold the stick like you've got a tiny little bird in your hand. So you got this bird in your hand. If you hold the bird or squeeze the bird too tightly, you're going to kill it. If you loosen up completely, the bird's going to fly away. So it has to be middle ground. So that's the way that I play using Jim Chapin's advice. Middle ground. The stick is not going to fly out of my hand. Well, occasionally it does, as we saw earlier. But for the most part, stick doesn't move. Stick doesn't move. Well, out of my hand, but it's really bouncing and loose. And I can feel the looseness. That's the key. feel that looseness, okay? Feel the sticks moving in your hands. Not moving around in your hands, that's not what I mean. I mean this motion, this opening and closing that's taking place with your fingers. The looseness here, but you'll notice that there's no drumstick, what I call drumstick creep or drummer's creep, where the stick shifts up your hand. That's not happening. So I'm holding the stick barely here, barely holding it, very loose. But I'm controlling it here. This is the control. This is the pivot point, fulcrum. Stick's not moving. Okay, so I don't have any questions here yet, but if you do have any questions later on, for those of you that watch this video not necessarily live, please feel free to leave me a question. Comment, like, subscribe. Tim Connolly Drums is just beginning. I'm a week into monetization. Check out my video explaining my journey to monetization. It is quite something. Years and years of having a YouTube channel without being monetized, and then last week it finally happens. Dreams do come true, but you got to stick with it. Dream technique can come true too. It's a journey. All of us are on it. I'm still on it. When I see guys like Gary Novak and Dave Weckl and Steve Smith and Vinny Colaiuta, Thomas Lang, Chris Coleman, all these crazy, Manu Cachet, when I see these guys and I see how great they play, a lot of how great they play is linked to what's going on with their hands, their body. And you can check out another one of my videos called The Liquid Effect, which talks about, playing loose, being relaxed, and how that's going to make you so much of a better player. Okay? Okay, thank you very much for joining me today. And I will see you again real soon. I got a Christmas special coming up. Grooves of Christmas. See ya. Take care. And as always, keep drumming.